Scary stories to tell if you dare. Collected folklore retold by Joe Oliveto. Scratching sounds. Beth and Anne were college roommates. That night, most of the other students were away. It was almost time for the holiday break, and they had gone home. But Beth and Anne both had a few more tests to take before they could leave. Usually, the building was filled with other students. Most of the time, it was a lot of fun. But that night, with so many people gone, it was a little scary. Beth and Anne got along well though, and told jokes and stories to help each other relax. After that, they decided to watch some TV. When they turned on the TV, there's a special news report on. An insane killer has escaped from the nearby prison. The report said that anyone living in the area should be extra careful and lock all their doors. "There's nothing to worry about," Beth said. "That prison isn't really that close, and there's no reason a killer would head this way anyway." Anne agreed, but they both decided it would be a good idea to lock the door, just in case. They put on a funny TV show and tried to forget about the whole thing. A little later, Beth started to feel hungry. She asked Anne if she wanted to go get some food with her. "No thanks," Anne said. "I'm getting a little tired. Will you be okay alone?" "I'll be fine," Beth said. "That killer won't come anywhere near the college, but just to be safe, lock the door behind me. I'll bring my key to let myself back in." "Okay," Anne said. An hour passed and Beth hadn't come back yet. She probably just saw someone she knew, Anne told herself. "I'm sure she's fine." Anne was obviously a little worried, but she decided to go to sleep. She was sure Beth would be back when she woke up. But that didn't happen. Instead, Anne awoke in the middle of the night to a strange sound outside her door. Beth was still gone. It sounded like some sort of animal scratching at the door, trying to get in. Anne sat there in fear. "Go away!" she finally shouted. But whatever was behind that door kept scratching at it. After what felt like hours, it finally stopped. There was a thudding sound, like something heavy being dropped on the floor. Anne waited for a few moments. When she got up enough courage, she walked slowly to the door and opened it. Beth was in the hallway, lying in a pool of blood. Someone had stabbed her to death. But she didn't die right away. Along the door were scratch marks, and Beth's fingernails were worn down. It looked like she had been scratching at a door, trying to get in. Something wrong. Steve and his dad loved camping. Every summer, they would go out into the woods and stay there for a whole weekend. One time, they found a big stream. The water looked so nice and cool, they decided to take a drink from it. But when Steve tried to drink the water, he felt like there were pebbles in it. He decided not to have any more. A few weeks later, Steve started to have stomach pains. At first, they weren't that bad, but soon it hurt so much that he couldn't go to school. His doctor knew there was something wrong. He told Steve's parents to take him for an x-ray. That way, they could see if there was something in his stomach making him feel so sick. When they looked at the x-ray, the doctors saw something strange in his stomach. It looked almost like some sort of string or ribbon. They told his parents he would need to have an operation so they could take it out. Steve went in for the operation. When the doctors took the strange object out of his stomach, everyone shrieked in terror. It was a live snake. It turned out that the pebbles in Steve's water from the camping trip weren't pebbles at all. They were snake eggs, and one of them had hatched in his stomach. The elevator. Sandra lived in the city. One night, she got back to her apartment building very late. She lived on the 5th floor. As she stepped into the elevator, a man rushed behind her shouting, "Wait! Hold the elevator, please!" She held the door open until the man got in. He thanked her and pressed the button for the 4th floor. Sandra didn't know him, but there were a lot of people in the building she never met. He looked like a nice person. They talked for a few moments as the elevator made its way to the top of the building. At the 4th floor, the man got out. "Have a nice night," said Sandra. The man turned back to her. "I'll see you on the 5th floor," he said. At first, Sandra didn't know what he meant. Then she saw it. The man was holding a sharp, bloody knife. He grinned at her like a crazy person, then darted to the stairs as the elevator doors closed. Sandra didn't have time to run. The doors closed in front of her. Her building was old, and there was no button to stop the elevator. It soon started moving, up to the 5th floor. The truck. Frank and Donna were married. Some nights, they liked to go out of the country to drive. One night, they ended up on a dark road they had never seen before. The road was in the middle of the woods. It was long, winding, and narrow. Tall trees rose up on both sides of it. Their branches were so long you'd almost couldn't see the sky. Frank and Donna drove for a long time without seeing any cars or houses. Then, Frank noticed a pair of headlights behind them. Even though it was dark, as they got closer, Frank could see that they belonged to an old pickup truck. "I've never seen a truck that old before," Donna said. Frank agreed. "I'm surprised it still runs." As they drove on, they noticed the truck was speeding up quickly. Soon, it was right behind them. Its headlights flooded into the car. "He must be crazy," Frank said. He drove faster, but the truck soon followed. "He's going to get us killed," Donna said. "I'll pull over and let him pass," Frank said. He pulled to the side of the road and parked his car. But the truck parked right behind him. The glare of the headlights made it impossible to see the driver. "Should I go talk to him?" Frank said. "Don't," Donna replied. "He could be dangerous." Frank thought Donna was right. He waited for about a minute, then said, "I'll just drive off real quick. He won't expect it. Then he won't be able to catch us." Frank pulled back onto the road. He put his foot down on the gas, but the truck caught up with him in no time. "He must be out of his damn mind," Frank said. He drove even faster, faster than he ever had. The road wasn't safe to drive on like this. At every curve, he almost lost control, but the truck was still behind them. He was sure it would run them off the road. "Look," Donna said. She pointed to a sign down the road. It said they were only a few miles from town. "We just have to get there, then we'll find someone to help us." Frank drove as fast as he could. No matter how fast he went, the truck kept up with him. Finally, the woods ended, and he saw lights up ahead. It was the gas station. Frank pulled into the gas station and parked the car. He knew the truck was still behind them, and they'd have to make a run for it to get inside before the driver got to them. But when they got out of the car, the truck was gone. They looked for its headlights, but they didn't see anything except the empty road. When they listened for its engine, all they heard was wind.